A lot of photographers get really obsessed with perfect light, and they will wait or put off going out to shoot until the conditions are just right. For many of us, waiting for golden hour, blue hour, overcast settings, or even dramatic lighting can really hold us back from just getting out there and shooting. So in today's video, I'm going to run through 5 specific ways that you can use harsh, natural light to enhance your photographic compositions so you can shoot anywhere, anytime. Underexposing by 2 stops, 4 stops, or even 6 stops can create a really dreamy and unique look. It might sound really wrong, but when you see the results and you are wanting to get that kind of look, I think it's really powerful and sets you apart. Obviously, this look isn't going to be suitable for everything, but it's one that's become very popular in the high fashion world, particularly by photographer Henrik Purin, who shoots amazing photos for YSL and other high fashion brands in really, really sunny conditions, but underexposes so heavily to create this juxtaposition almost. From the tests that I have done, I think it's something that definitely works better with film, but it can absolutely be done with digital too. What I really like about this look is you can stop your lens down and then focus on a hot point or reflection, and you will get a really sharp rendering of that, which can become the focus of your composition. The darker parts of your image become crushed and therefore less attention grabbing. So you can see here, it works really well to draw the viewer's eye to something in particular, which can be great for products or if you're just wanting to highlight a particular point in your photograph. So try this out and see what you can come up with. It's something that I tend to use when my husband and I are shooting things like perfume or jewelry in the harsh sun, and I love the way it looks. When you have a lot of light to work with, this can be a positive thing because it means you can stop down to something like f11 and then have everything in focus and really use all of the components in the scene to your advantage compositionally. Shooting in harsh light really lends itself to that flat kind of graphic look that we have seen from photographers like George Byrne. This kind of style is really great if you are in a built-up environment because you can use all of the shapes and lines of everything to create these flat graphic images that are really striking. Having everything in focus like this and in full sun also makes your image look very sharp and crisp. I really think giving f11 a go and getting out there shooting in the harsh light and having a go at creating these type of compositions and seeing where it takes you. Fill flash is highly underrated. Not enough people talk about it or are using it. This is probably one of my favorite ways to shoot in harsh light. It is a little bit more technical though. Using backlight and fill flash can create this really dramatic look that I know a lot of people would kind of class as bad photography, but to be honest with you, I think it makes people look really cool, really powerful. It has like a somewhat editorial kind of look to it, and it's definitely an aesthetic that suits certain types of photography. Just know that it can take some practice learning how to balance things out, but once you get the hang of it, I guarantee you will love it. Another more traditional way to use fill flash is less dramatic, and you probably wouldn't even know sometimes that flash has been used. But if you are shooting in a harsh scene where there's, different kind of like shadows coming across, the light is uneven, fill flash is great for just filling in those spots and just creating a really even look. You can do this with a diffuser or without, on or off camera, just depending on how soft you want things to look and how much you want to experiment. I have shown these images before on my channel, but I'm going to pop them up again because they're a great example of using fill flash to just fill in the light. And to be honest with you, you can't really tell that that's what has been used. And I think that this is such a good technique to have in your toolkit to pull out if you are experiencing light that is unflattering or just, not optimal. This created such an even look for these shots and allowed us to do this whole shoot for this brand in like midday Australian sun, but give it a softer, more even look. Flash exposure is about balancing the ambient light with the light that is directly hitting your subject, and this can get pretty overwhelming. The problem is that your shutter speed is often limited to 200 or 250 on a lot of cameras, meaning to get a strong contrast between subject and background in strong light is very difficult. It is possible though with some cameras that do high speed sync. This is something we've only recently started doing with our D7100, and to be honest, we didn't even realize it was possible, but I really love the look. So in these images, Lux used a shutter speed of 1/1000, and by doing that, he was able to create a bit of a drop shadow, which once again, I know some people will complain about, but this is a look that is really popular with brands, especially in fashion. It can create something that has strong contrasts, pops, and is striking, which in 2025, I'm sorry, but having a striking image matters more than following the rules. I've also experimented with high-speed sync on some product shots and really liked the way it looks there too. But there's a few other ways you could do this as well, like having a camera with a leaf shutter like the X100 or using ND filters. If you do want to take a closer look at any of these harsh light photographing techniques in action, then you can do so at lucylumen.com, which is where I host my portfolio and website using Squarespace. 3 years ago, I was looking for a place to showcase my photography in a more meaningful way and break free from just presenting my work on social media. I was able to start simple using Squarespace templates that are designed specifically for photographers like us wanting to organize and present our personal projects and commercial work online. A website gives me the confidence I need to pitch myself for collaborations and photography opportunities, and it's something that helps to set me apart from the crowd because it can easily be customizable with fonts, colors, and layouts to suit my vibe. As a photographer, it's really great to have a contact form, and I recently changed mine and then had an inquiry to be on a very big podcast here in Australia. So I am so glad that I put time and effort into my website because it's coming back to me with all different types of opportunities. You can even set up an online store and sell things like fine art prints, presets, or photo books and zines. The options are truly endless with Squarespace. The good news is you can try Squarespace for free today. Just head to www.squarespace.com/LucyLumen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using code LucyLumen. This one is very simple, but if you take something really colorful and pop it in direct sunlight, it is just going to hit different. Get it positioned so that the sunlight is hitting the part that you want to showcase the most. Stop down to f11 and just go for it. This look is extremely attention grabbing, and I think not enough people are doing it. I can guarantee you if there were a lot of people on a shoot, they would go and grab like diffusers and things to try and soften the light. People seem to be so obsessed with making the light really soft. And I am here to just give you permission and advocate for just embracing the harsh light. I understand that for portraits, we don't really want like ugly kind of harsh lights across people's faces and all of that kind of stuff, but I've given you some techniques already to combat that and still embrace the harsh light. But we don't always need to be conforming to these, certain times that we shoot or getting soft light, you can think outside the box. I've left this tip till last because I feel like it's the most obvious one, and embracing the shadows is something that I see a lot of black and white shooters do, but not necessarily other shooters. This is something I do a lot as a color photographer, and I think when you pair the strong shadows with the way the sun makes the colors pop, you just get such a bold image. Leaning into strong shadows can also open up all kinds of opportunities for framing and composition, bringing another interesting element to something like a portrait. I have some examples here where it kind of feels like a photo I would take meshed with a photo of me, if that makes sense. Like there's a photographic compositional kind of element to this fashion editorial kind of portrait, which I think is really cool because it's taking it further than just a photo of something to try and make someone buy something. Someone who's really good at doing this is Faisal Westcott. I just think his photography is among the best here on YouTube, and he uses harsh shadows in really interesting ways in his street photography to frame up people, and then he'll add like a splash of color or something in the foreground, and it all just works so well. And I think that he's really looking out for all of those things when he's photographing. So it's really great to have an open mind to these things and not just be shooting at the same time of day because someone told you that that's the most optimal. I really hope today's episode has given you some inspiration to get out there and shoot in harsh light and not just be waiting around for the typical times that we are chasing as photographers. Let me know below if you have any tips for using harsh light to your advantage. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.